The basic remains absolutely the same. I think it is the product, it's the consumer and the people which actually take care of it.
What are the lessons you have imbibed throughout your journey that has made you the leader that you are today?
The clear-cut understanding of consumer businesses that you have to understand the people who are delivering.
How do you differentiate between a leader and a non-leader?
Well, I don't say that anybody is a non-leader. Everybody is a leader, but I think the opportunity to display the leadership quality needs to be identified.
What is the kind of influence you want to leave behind when you come back?
It's always interesting to have a conversation. And I think it's nice to see different perspectives from different parts of the world, from different leaders. And I think it can benefit.
Hi everyone, I'm Mohsinaa Ahmad, founder of Quantum Leaders Program and Self-Discovery Podcast. A space where we uncover the mindset, beliefs, and inner evolution of leaders who are redefining what true leadership looks like from the inside out. Today on this episode of Self-Discovery Podcast, we are delighted to host Vikrant Vohra, a distinguished hospitality and consumer brand leader with nearly 3 decades of experience spanning luxury hotels, global quick service restaurant brands, and large-scale business operations. Currently serving as the CEO of Pizza Hut India at Sapphire Foods, Vikrant leads strategy across operations, marketing, design, procurement, and expansion with full P&L ownership and a sharp focus on sustainability, growth, and profitability. His journey began on the hotel floor with iconic brands such as Taj, Marriott, Hyatt, and the Park, including international assignments in Boston, New York, and San Francisco. He later transitioned into mass consumer brands where he played key leadership roles across KFC and Pizza Hut India. Known for building high-performance teams, scaling operations without compromising brand integrity, and leading with clarity and intent, Vikrant combines frontline hospitality grounding with strong commercial discipline. Beyond business, he's an angel investor, keynote speaker, and actively contributes to social impact initiatives through Roundtable India. Today, we explore his leadership journey, lessons in growth, and the human side of success. Hi, Vikrant. Welcome to Self-Discovery Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I think it's always lovely to have a conversation about what we have done and what are we looking forward to. So good to be here with you, Mohsinaa.
So Vikrant, you began your luxury hospitality journey decades ago, and today you lead a mass-scale food brand, Pizza Hut. What was the hardest internal shift you had to make in your mindset, in your thought process during this transition that has led to where you are today?
Well, I think if you look at the business of consumption for hotels or for QSR, the basic remains absolutely the same. I think it is the product, it's the consumer and the people which actually take care of it. The major difference which is we saw, or which I realized, was that from under one roof, which is under control for everything in a hotel, to going to 1,000 restaurants in 1,000 different geographical locations. So the needs as well as of the wants of the people who are working, the teams who are doing, or the assets you have, or the customers are coming here, are completely different in different biological, in different geographical sense. So I think for me to understand that was the biggest change. That I was the king of some of the finest hotels in India in terms of, everything is under control, a luxury segment, top-notch people, very niche kind of experience to be created. And then to move to a quick service restaurant, which is completely different in terms of its structure, but has the same soul, which is basically the consumer and the product and the people as such. So I think that was the change I had to kind of unlearn and learn again to do the shift.
So what made you do that, if I may ask you? Were you thinking in the perspective of growth, or you were thinking in the perspective that let me try out something different now that I have been in the luxury industry since such a long time? Because this is completely opposite to what you are doing right now. What made this transition happen in your mind first?
In my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
And I have, this is completely my opinion, how other people are perceiving their careers. I had spent good 15, 17 years in hotels, in luxury hotels. We have created some of the most exclusive consumer experiences. I have worked in some of the most exclusive restaurants in the world, or the hotels in the world. For example, Ritz Boston was the first Ritz in US, and I have worked there and kind of made it into a Taj hotel and all of that. And when I came back, I was with Marriott, one of the biggest hotels of the country in Pune. And then I realized that from here on, what is it that I will get as a career? And I wanted to reinvent my career at all, totally in terms of what I was doing. I could see 5 years, I would have been very comfortable being a GM to another GM to another hotel's GM, and then getting into the regional roles, continuing to do what I have done very well, fairly successful at the peak of my career. Where I realized that I need to kind of, stay close to food and beverage, because that's my first love, on the consumer stories, stay close to the people. How do I impact? But I wanted to do a large impact, and I wanted to do it in a little different setup. And I must tell you, this opportunity came. I was the first ops head for Yum India, which includes actually KFC. And this came, and I thought this was an exciting role, different from what I have been doing, but not too different also, because it still remained food and beverage, first in the country. I think I thought it was a great opportunity for me to continue my journey of learning and impacting, one which I've done for 15, 17 years.
From your early days on the hotel floor, what are the lessons or habits that has shifted in you, and what are the lessons you have imbibed throughout your journey that has made you the leader that you are today?
As I mentioned in the beginning, the clear-cut understanding of consumer businesses, that you have to understand the people who are delivering the services at the moments of truth. You also have to understand that what product are you in, and what kind of customers are you going to be dealing with across. In all of this, I think what remains paramount is that you have to have a connect with people. And I think that's remained
Amazing.
constant for
Yeah.
me. And so the quality of conversations with them, it's as simple as that, wishing a good morning while walking on the floor or just nodding your head makes a lot of difference. You need to take interest in people in the hotels or in the restaurants, which I've been running and which I've ran. I think one of the most paramount important quality in a person is that interested in people, because rest everything will come and play its role. But if you are really interested in your people who are working with you, the teams you are working with, and you imbibe that kind of a culture to the last person who was serving to the customer also, or as I would rather call them as a guest rather than a customer, because that's important for them to understand that
Right.
I'm interested to provide you what I want, to we make you comfortable, to provide you what really you are here
Yeah.
for, rather than
Right.
the transactional part. So my quality of, I go to the floor, I talk to people, I understand, I speak, and I think I have
Absolutely.
that I have imbibed, and I have kind of, that's the culture which I've built in the organization I run.
So, what according to you is leadership, if I may reframe it? Like, is it an acquired trait? So, what according to you is leadership, if I may ask you? Is it an acquired trait, or is it something a person is born with, or something that, he imbibes during his career, the habits, the way a leader is? How do you differentiate between a leader and a non leader?
Well, I don't say that anybody is a non-leader. Everybody is a leader, but I think the opportunity to display the leadership quality needs to be identified and practiced. Leadership skill is a way of life for people who actually kind of understand this better. That's the only difference, people. Everybody is born with to do well in life. That's the zeal of every person. Wants to lead a group of people in the right direction and have success in life. Every person who gets up in the morning on the bed doesn't say that I'll do a bad job. He'll say, I'll do a good job, and I want to be leader of the people whom I am kind of looking at it. There are certain personality traits. I wouldn't say that. Some of the people are great individual contributors. Some of them like to have a more, bigger strategic vision and all of that. Skills can be acquired. Strategic thinking, critical thinking, strategic part of it. However, what's the most important thing is that you identify that what are the factors which makes great leaders, and can I practice them in my day-to-day job? Can I
Right.
display that on a regular basis? And then I can be identified by those as my character also. And hence it makes me a bigger leader. In all of this skill to this thing, there are two things which I think are a must for any leader, which you need to figure out whether you have it or not. not is one is courage, and second is your leadership communication. That are you able to communicate a vision? Are you able to communicate to people and find what gets them moving? Are the two most important things.
Amazing. So when leaders talk about empowering people, now let me tell you this, that empowerment is a very cliched word, the way it is used these days. So when they are talking about leading people, influencing people, as a leader, you are in a leadership position yourself. As a leader, when you meet your teammates, when you meet your peers and colleagues and your superiors, what is the kind of influence you want to leave behind when you come back?
When you look at empowerment, as you rightly said, it's quite a cliched word and
Yeah.
overused and misunderstood to the maximum level.
Yes.
This and empathy and
That's
sympathy,
true.
these are the three words which say everybody is
True.
throwing at you, typically, if I would say. But when I say empowerment, there's
Absolutely
nothing
agree.
but giving the power of accountability to the person to do its job well. The person, and I'll give you an absolute basic example, right? And all of us go to the restaurants, right? We love to go to the
Right,
restaurant, we
Vikrant.
do
Right.
that. A very basic example is the person who's serving you on the table and you have a challenge in that. Does he or she has the empowerment to take accountability of what has happened on your table and have the power to change your experience completely to elevate to the level which you are expecting or go beyond your expectation? That's empowerment for me. So it's basically resources to provide the person courage and accountability at the same time. Then listen, I am here. I will take care of your experience. For any other task, in a strategic task, empowerment is in decision making. That the leader has got my back, and I have the full trust. He or she has the full trust in me. If I make this decision, doesn't matter if I go wrong. That we can get better from there. But I will take the accountability. We can go back to the drawing board, have a conversation, and get course corrected. That empowerment for a person to be able to think like that will go forward on this after correcting course correction. Or if I am responsible for any experience, whether it is internal customer, I have the empowerment to make sure I can elevate if somebody else is in a trouble or not into the best of their experiences.
You are the CEO of Pizza Hut. Okay, there are other brands as well, like, the competitors of Pizza Hut. What is the market share of Pizza Hut in India and internationally? And how is it growing? How is it expanding?
So Pizza Hut, between the two partners across India, we have close to 1,000 odd restaurants, approximately, give or take some numbers. We also have, Sapphire Food also have interest in close to 100 restaurants in Sri Lanka. We are by far the second largest QSR brand in India by the numbers itself. And you have a leader, as you mentioned, across in there in that category of this thing in pizza, and it's very commoditized, product. And Pizza Hut is the number two player. Is there a reason for us for our existence? Oh, certainly there is. How do we demarcate? How do we differentiate ourselves from any other pizza player? We continue to focus on great products, great innovation, and great dining experience. Omni-channel is what we say. So we are omni-channel. That's how we have a right to exist. We have right to prosper, and we have right to be able to long-term brand in India with such a big, large population. We have seen growth. We have seen ups and downs across, but that's the cycling part of the overall industry as well as of the brand across in there. So Pizza Hut, as we speak, second largest brand. Omni-channel is the distinguishing factor for us to be able to create consumer experience with great innovation and has a great future as we go forward from here.
So tell me, Vikrant, leadership is, like you said, it's an uncertain journey. There are always ups and downs there. You have to take prompt decisions sometimes. There are a lot of uncertainties that are involved in this. What is that one ritual that you do that grounds you or that makes you calm and approach leadership as a journey and not as a goal or an outcome?
I think you said it very nicely. The leadership is not a role, but it's a journey. And I think every journey has its, scale ups and scale downs, happy moments, sad moments, as well as talk of things and all of that.
Right.
In this journey, I think when you typically get up in the morning, okay, you must make sure that today you're going to be a little bit better than yesterday. I think I believe in the power of compounding. You just it cannot be dramatically different. You just have to be 1% better than yesterday, nothing more than that. And I think if you look at
100%
this
agree.
cumulatively, 30 days in 100 days, in 365 days, that is the journey you must have on those lines as such as a leader. And every person whom you are going to be touching today, whether in every interaction, you should be able to give a hope and a vision at the same time for when you are talking to any person. So get better by a percentage every day if you need to be. You don't have to do dramatic changes. A leadership is that you identify that change which you need to do. And secondly, I think it's important to provide recognition and vision to the good work which has been done and where you want to go for your teams, whoever you are interacting with. So I think those are the three things.
Thank you so much, Vikrant, for joining in our self-discovery podcast and having this conversation that we had today, full of insights and absolutely, amazing journey that you have and a long way to go.
Oh, no, it's always interesting, to have a conversation. And I think it's nice to see different perspectives from different parts of the world, from different leaders. And I think it can benefit a lot of people. Listen to these short but completely very powerful interactions and leaves people with something to think about, something to take away, and something to come back. So I really enjoyed myself here. And I love to connect with a lot of colleges, a lot of students, a lot of personal favorites. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. For this insightful conversation that we had today, joining in Self Discovery Podcast and sharing your insights with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.